Hey guys, let's talk about sleep for a little while. It's kind of a cold, blistery, windy day here in Maryland. Picking up here just outside of Baltimore today, and I'm going to go to Arkansas. So that'll be fun. Um, get back down south where it's not so cold. Anyway, let's talk about sleep for a little bit. You gotta have it. Some of you guys that are subscribed to my channel have asked me about things, and I think this is one of the most important things, especially for people who are just starting out. I know when you're young and you're full of life and vigor that you think you can stay up all night and do what you're going to do and go to work the next day, and some people can. When you're sitting there pushing a button every 10 seconds and doing a mundane job that you do from day to day, it's not hard to go out all night and get 2 or 3 hours sleep and then do the job the next day. This isn't a job you can do that in. Driving a truck is dangerous. It's not a job that you can actually not sleep, not rest. You can't do that. Driving anything when you're tired is not a good idea. Very, very easy to nod off. Very easy to have an accident if you're sleepy and you're tired. Also, your reflexes aren't as good when you're sleepy and tired. In fact, driving sleepy and tired is been compared to driving drunk. It's very, very dangerous. So you guys that's never driven before and you wanted to know some advice on what to do when you get out here, that's one thing. And you'll find your trainers are going to make you try to go to sleep. I know sometimes when you first start a job that it's exciting, and it's almost like trying to go to sleep on Christmas Eve when you're little. You can't do it because you're so excited about what Santa Claus is going to bring you. Well, if you're too excited about driving and you don't sleep the night before, then you may not be driving the next day, because you can't drive a truck when you're sleepy and when you're tired. You can go into what's called micro sleeps, that you actually go to sleep for a second, and that's not good. I mean, this truck can travel at 60 miles an hour, can travel a long ways in a second. And when you're carrying 80,000 pounds, it's hard to stop this thing when you come out of your stupor and realize you're about to get in an accident. It's hard to stop a truck. So when you're just starting, even when you're, if you've been in it 30 years, you still got to get your rest. You got to get your sleep. Your body will tell you when it's time to stop. And you have to listen to your body, because if you don't, you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to hurt somebody else, or something's going to happen, and it's not going to be a good thing when it does. So that's a piece of advice that I wanted to put out there. It sounds like it's common sense, and it is common sense, but a lot of people don't realize that they're not getting the proper amount of rest. I don't know if you've ever done this before, but have you ever been driving on a long trip in your car and you've gone 50 miles and all of a sudden you don't remember any of the 50 miles you just did because you zoned out? It's basically the same thing. You have to always be diligent, always pay attention, always be alert, and paying attention to your surroundings, especially in one of these big monsters that you're driving down the road. So that's my little word of advice for today. Whether you're brand new to the business or whether you've been in the business 50 years, get your rest. You got to have it. You know, I'm not trying to be somebody that's telling you what to do, but that is one thing that you've got to have, is you've got to have that rest. There's no way around it. So, and the cool thing is, you know, people are moaning and complaining about these ELDs and about electronic logging devices. And the good thing about electronic logging devices is if you try to drive more than, or if you try to work more than 14 hours, it's going to let you know. It's going to let your company know. You know, the government puts that 10-hour break that you have to have 10 hours off duty or in the sleeper berth, but you cannot be driving during that 10 hours. And the government did that for not only your safety, but they did it for the safety of the country. Now, this is going to have a lot of backlash to it if people are against the ELD mandate. I've been driving on electronic logs since I started. I first started out and I was driving on paper logs. And was it easy to drive more than 11 hours a day with a paper log? You bet it was. Within the first year when I started driving, we ended up having the electronic logs. So it makes it much easier for the drivers, but a lot of drivers don't like it because they think that they can't make their loads on time, they can't do this, they can't do that. Well, you can, because we're doing it. We've been doing it for years now. And we have a very, very high success rate for getting loads on time. And, you know, here at Prime, we have that success rate, and we also get our rest. Are there drivers here that don't actually rest whenever they're supposed to? Yeah, of course there are. Some drivers want to stay up and watch TV all night, or read a book, or go in the lounge in the truck stop and hang around and bull jive with all the people in there, and that's okay, but at least they're not driving the truck. You know, they are technically resting. So yeah, just think about that for a little while, guys, before you start driving a truck. Or even if you're driving a truck now, think about it. You know, you cannot, absolutely cannot drive a truck if you're too tired to drive. You know, Don Lacey here at Prime, he was the safety director for a long time, and he would flat tell you that you're the captain of your ship. If you feel tired, pull it over. If your dispatcher wants to give you grief about not getting a load on time because you're too tired to be driving, he said, three-way me on the conversation. We'll find out what their problem is, because there's no load too hot that it won't cool off in a ditch somewhere. And he's exactly right, 100%. So be safe out there, guys. Get your rest, and we'll see you next time.